Have you ever considered why we call it the West, the East, why Africa is in neither? We have the first records of the East versus the West thanks to Herodotus. He was perceived as the father of our current history. He describes that in the year 500 BCE, Persia and Greece were having a fight. So Greece was considered as the West, and he tied the West with characteristics such as democracy, liberty, while he described Persia as authoritarian. Moving on to the Roman Empire. It's the year 300 CE, and the Roman Empire is divided into two. We have the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern one. The Western one includes Spain, Italy, Portugal, France, and the Eastern Roman Empire includes Turkey and some parts of West Asia. If you're wondering why they ever got divided, it was a combination of multiple factors. One of the main things that I found was that they were divided by languages. The Western Roman Empire felt more comfortable with Latin, whereas the Eastern Roman Empire felt more comfortable with Greek, so they didn't really change a lot of text to Latin. Not only that, but they also had differences in how to handle religion. Now we're moving on to the age of colonialism, where a lot of different countries in Europe, specifically Spain, Portugal, France, and England, decide to go on a global expedition, and they decide to create some rules regarding the West and the East. What these countries end up doing is that depending on the distance from Europe, they name them either the Near East, the Middle East, or the Far East. Also, the concept of Orientalism is defined at this time as mysterious, exotic. And then we have the Cold War. And what the Cold War did was turn everything into politics. We have obviously the USA being part of the West, as well as NATO allied countries. And any country that does the opposite, aka communism, is perceived as the East. And here's where South Korea and Japan would become West aligned. Post-Cold War becomes really interesting because the geopolitics are solidified. Africa actually, during the Second Cold War, decided to not become part of either. They were like, these two groups are not enough for us. This presentation was only done from a Eurocentric point of view, so if you want the Asian version, stay tuned.